Okay, welcome everybody. Let's do a reading today. This is the new moon in Leo. And this new moon is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Okay, why is it so powerful? Because it's activating the outer planets and Saturn. So, what does that mean? Pluto is opposite the new moon, so opposite the sun and the moon in Aquarius. The new moon is in Leo, and Leo is a king, right? King of the jungle. The high vibration of Leo is heart. The low vibration of Leo is ego. Look at me, look at me. That's the low vibration of Leo. And so when it activates Pluto in Aquarius, there is this disconnection from, or detachment, I think is a better word, detachment from lower vibration, because we are moving into the age of Aquarius. So there is a detachment from that. So Pluto in retrograde is being activated. The new moon is also trining beautifully Saturn and Neptune. Neptune is spirituality and Saturn is structure. So the lower vibration of that, the lower vibration of Saturn is punishment or rigidity. And the lower vibration of Neptune is illusion or delusionment. The higher vibration is spiritual practice. So which way are we going to go? I like the trine because that feels like, okay, if we're going to detach from ego, if we're going to detach from the lower vibration of Leo, then we're definitely detaching from the lower vibration of Saturn and Neptune. So we're going toward spiritual practice. We're going toward, this is a decision right on the table today. Are we going towards spiritual practice and spiritual discipline, something that expands the heart, or something that devolves into ego and narcissism? It's also, new moon is also sextiling Uranus and Gemini, which to me is the real wild card. No pun intended. Wild card because a sextile 60 degrees away is just an opportunity. A trine will activate automatically. It's flow. It just kind of happens. It's effortless. But a sextile says, well, here's your opportunity, whether you take it or you don't. And Uranus is sudden and Gemini is truth. So let's see where the reading takes us today. This is a new moon in Leo reading. I am calling on the ancestors to help us navigate. I know which path, y'all, if you come to my channel, I know which path you're hopeful of, right? That's what you're choosing personally. But let's see what comes out here in this reading. I am going to use an oracle deck in 1 second, but here we go. 10 of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, the Two of Swords, and the Page of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. There's something here about women, Ace of Wands, I love that. There's something here about women seeing their role differently, about women getting inspired to see their prosperity, to see how they can create something for themselves. All right, this is divine feminine energy that says, I'm no longer going to be hemmed in by the old rules around patriarchy or around capitalism. There's something about a woman or women changing that. Okay, women changing that, right? Because of innovation. That is Pluto in Aquarius. It is also Uranus and Gemini. There's innovation here. And when Mars moves into Libra, even though Mars is weaker in Libra, it's interesting because that masculine energy of Mars, weaker in Libra, right now it's in Virgo. So it's demanding details. We're definitely seeing that. What wants to come through? Oh, look at this. Guides. I am seeing good fortune here and power. Wow, the shifting of power. Fire, Leo. Healer. Oh my goodness. Message. Oh, wow. Women are going to lead this shift. I feel like I do feel like we've known this, but this is the loudest I've seen it come out in a reading. Um, that the current structure of how money works is completely corrupted now. And so there needs to be a transformation of, and not just dollars and cents or euros or British pound or yen. It's not just about the actual transactions. So there is something about transparency, which I believe we've been talking about with the innovation around financial systems. But this is much more about what we value and choosing instead what we value, what women value. And this is not about like getting rid of men, because I see the Knight of Pentacles here. But this actually, of course it's not, because this is actually about the transformational energy having to do with the masculines who embrace their feminine. This is Virgo energy. So this is healing energy. The masculines who do embrace empathy, and there are plenty of them around, that is going to be the partner. That will be the partner. Because it's about what we value. Okay, so Two of Cups, a deal. Empress, there she is. There's Taurus and Libra. That's the Empress. Ace of Cups. An offer, an opportunity. Knight of Cups. Look at this. The Daughter of Pentacles, or the Page of Pentacles, which is like, I feel, and this is masculine energy too. So there's something about masculines who have learned or who have shown that this is of their values. Their values are being I get the word lionized. Leo. Hold on. Okay, Six of Cups. Six of Pentacles. Page of Swords. So we got a couple pages here, right? Page of Wands, Page of Pentacles, Page of Swords. Page of Cups is missing, which is an apology, but we've got the Knight of Cups, which is the elevation. Woo! King of Swords. It's like the King of Swords is cornered by all this feminine energy and this masculine energy, which is embracing feminine values around love and mercy and the cosmic heart. We have the North Node in Pisces right now, which is a spiritual mission. And the South Node in Virgo, which is transiting right now, is demanding details, but it's also about I've said this to you guys before, that the South Node's job, when people are hanging on too much to the South Node, is to cut. So details are going to cut. And so this can be about what it is that we value. And we've gotten too much to the place where people aren't valued, love isn't valued, it's just power. Okay? What is going to hold power in the future? It will be different. And this is what the new moon in Leo promises. So if you're manifesting with this new moon, which I highly recommend, this is a time of planting those seeds. For what it is that you want to create in your life personally. So this could be more globally, or this could be more about the collective. And you're saying to yourself, well, I really value love. I value heart. The powers that be, or the power dynamics, have really, maybe crushed my dreams, my hopes and dreams. And so I'm going to go a different way. I'm going to really lean in to my creative self-expression. I'm going to lean into love. I'm going to lean into those values and, put my, thumb on the scales of justice here, that's more important. And I feel like that's going to be a collective, each one of us internally, an internal revolution to show that love heals. Love wins. This King of Swords, though, that's Aquarius. So that is Pluto and Aquarius. I hesitate to call it a wild card, but it is kind of, we have all of the pages here. So that's a lot of, no, we don't. We're missing the Page of Cups, which is apology or restitution or awareness, right? A good apology. I was saying this yesterday in Pathfinders. A good apology requires three elements: the actual apology that's sincere, the asking of forgiveness, which is different than the I screwed up, I want your forgiveness. And then the third part is changing behavior. That seems to be the one that trips up a lot of people. Okay. It's like that we're being tripped up by that we need to change our behavior. It's like apologies are meaningless without any shift in what you're doing or how you're doing it. And I feel like that's what I love this Page of Pentacles in here, because this is about learning something new. So on a personal level, you could move this into, I want to do love differently in the future. I want to do relationship different in the future. I want to do money different in the future. All of these things, like, this is a global reset. So, all of the mistakes, superhuman, totally fine. But the lower vibration of Virgo is perfectionism. And there is a distinctly vindictive part of perfectionism, that there's a lack of forgiveness. There's a rigidity around a lack of forgiveness in that perfectionism. And a lot of times when you see that in yourself, you can turn it on yourself and be super hypercritical of yourself. And that's very punishing and unforgiving. And that's, cutting off your future spiritual connection, because you're so busy like criticizing yourself. And that King of Swords can be this hypercritical. I mean, that is Aquarius energy. So it's kind of like, how much truth? This is like the unvarnished truth. There's two swords here. Never kind of noticed that before. Not in many other decks are there two swords with the King of Swords. So there's something here that makes me feel like this is the truth I'm showing you, but there's more truth to be had. So there's something here about, in power, we believe, I think that's, in power, I only show the truth that benefits me. And we're taking another look at that with this Hanged Man, right? We're looking right at the Two of Swords and saying she's got both swords, good and positive and negative, right? She's got both swords. So when we look at ourselves, there's Page of Cups right there underneath. So King of Swords, please clarify this King of Swords. Death. Five of Wands. The Fool. Page of Cups. It stayed on the bottom. So this says to me that the old way of us doing power, that the Pluto and Aquarius is upending that. That we can't have two, it's like a double standard. We can't have two standards of justice, one for the powerful and one for the rest of us. We can't have two standards. We can't say like, oh, only this truth, please. I'm going to cherry pick my truth. You've seen that a lot. I'm only going to cherry pick my truth. I'm not going to really show the whole truth. And that is in the past what has brought power and affluence. And now all of 2024, and if you're part of Pathfinders, you have access to all of my year-long intuition lessons. So if you're part of Pathfinders, you have access to all of that. Even if you joined today or you joined last week or whatever, you have access to all of that. Because what I said in 2024 is, very soon we're going to need the power of our intuition. And a lot of people who were gaslit as children really second guess themselves. That's a hallmark of being gaslit as a child. Don't trust your intuition, only trust me, the parent. right? Only trust because I'm in power, only trust the truth that I'm giving you. Don't trust your own truth. So that's dead with this death card. And go back and look at those lessons, because we talked through all of the clairs. We talked through the difference between wishful thinking and intuition, the difference between fear and intuition. How do you tell? How do you use dreams? What tools can I use to, sort of elevate my intuition? All of those tools are available to you. And that is going to be the thing that, especially in an age of AI, like, how do we tell what's real and what's not? The Leo new moon is that inner child that knows the truth, but that has used coping mechanisms to stay safe. And we as a culture have used coping mechanisms to stay safe. It's no longer safe. It's no longer working. So Ancestor message coming through that says we're not only reevaluating this, but there is some kind of more truth to come. There's more truths. So if you are suddenly being aware, and I see this a lot of people in YouTube, and I see the videos and everything like that about family estrangement, about being aware of like abusive behavior in childhood and how people are like, I'm not dealing with that anymore. I need to heal. I need to get away from that. You can't heal in the same system that injured you. You've got to get space. So I'm seeing that, and I am definitely seeing this reemergence of people's truth. Now that's the higher vibration of Virgo, Mars in Virgo, saying, I want the details. I want to see the details of my situation so I can adequately heal it. I'm not hiding it. I'm not eluding myself from it anymore. I'm not sticking my head in the sand. Neptune and Saturn together are saying we're dissolving these old structures that were too rigid for us, that you have loyalty even to people who abused you. Nah, not doing that. Why? Whatever the coping mechanisms are, we are learning something new. We're learning a new way to be loving, with that Venus energy there, the Two of Cups and the Ace of Cups, a new way to be loving. Boy, Leo is like that sweet, sweet child who, really exists on pure love. Like animals are, pure love. There's not a lot of there's no calculation. There's no power dynamic. Really, when you're dealing with animals and young kids, like all of that, the discipline and the training of animals and the training of children and all that stuff, it has its positive side to it, but it also has a dark side to it. And so I think we're basically saying, hey, let's keep the good and let's get rid of the dark side here. And you do have to see the dark in order to let in the light. So I feel like a lot more people are going, oh, wow, I guess that was not okay. And, that's why a lot of people very critical of having social media. It's not because you don't want to hear about this. Why are people airing their dirty laundry? But here's the deal. They just don't want it aired in public. Perception is all of it. I definitely know that from my own personal story, that perception of how people see things, we're going to control the message. We're going to control how people see us. But if your intuition is heightened, you don't need to be told. You don't need any kind of like, whatever someone tells you, you're like, your energy doesn't feel like that. So you're kind of politicking your way through this. And I already know the truth because I can feel resonance. If you're on the spiritual path, which you clearly are, if you're on my channel, that's why working with your intuition, having a spiritual practice, which is what Saturn and Neptune is trying to say to us. If you can just have a spiritual practice, you are going to be able to navigate this so much better, so much more easily. All right, let's keep going. I want to see more about this because I didn't really talk about this conflict and then the getting free of the conflict. And then there is an apology here. So, or at least a detente of some kind. So let's go deeper into this. If this is your reading, link is below. I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.